Good afternoon everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I would like to introduce a Ford Focus to you. This car is from the fourth generation, and as it's only 1 year old, it's the facelifted model, and it's also in the active trim, which gets the body side molding throughout the length of the vehicle, as well as the active badge on the front fenders, as well as the 3 cm raise compared to the normal model. That means the ride height is about 3 cm taller than in the base model. So if you are driving on bad roads, it can be an advantage. And it's equipped with the 1 liter 125 horsepower Ecoboost engine. This is going to be an in-depth look at the car, so both on the exterior and the interior. Let's start with the trunk. As this is a station wagon, or an estate as you like, the trunk is huge. It's more than 500 liters. It is a nice cover. You can just unhook it like this. And there are a bunch of nice features in the trunk. So let's start with the lights. There are 2 bright LED lights, one on each side. They do a perfect job at night. Also, there is a ski hatch, or a ski tunnel as you like. You can just fold it down and you can pass through longer items, while the car can be still used with 4 people, which is really neat. Also, if it's not enough, you can fold down the seats in a 60-40 split by pulling on these tabs, one on each side. There are also hooks for bags, a 12-volt outlet, and some deeper pockets on both sides, one with an elastic band and another with a net. It's also cool that the floor can be folded up. You can do it 2 ways. You can fold it up like this, and then it locks in place, so things are not moving around then. And it reveals some extra storage down below. But you can remove the floor completely, and then you will have this extra 8 or 10 centimeters of trunk space throughout the whole trunk, which is really cool. By moving the tray forward and lifting the bottom floor up, the small spare tire is revealed. And of course, this is not a regularly sized spare tire, but it's like 100 times more usable solution than any kind of tire repair kit. So all in all, I would say that this trunk is really decent, packs a lot of nice features, and it's also cool that you can pull down on the tailgate on both sides. Here we can take a look at the windows from the B-pillar and back. All windows are tinted. And as part of the active package, the rear windshield also gets a black piece of trim, like black framing, and also a pair of brushed exhaust tips, which are, by the way, real exhaust. It's not a fake exhaust tip, it's the real exhaust of the car. For taking a look at the interior, there is a cool feature I would like to show, and I honestly don't know why other manufacturers don't use it. It's the door edge guard. If you open the door, there is this protector that pops out, and it then retracts back when you close the door. And of course, it's at the widest part of the door, so it's really good against bumping into a wall or the car parking next to us, and it could be really useful for every manufacturer. The door panel itself is simple but practical. It only has padded material on the armrest, but at least the door pockets are with this felt lining, so things are not rattling inside. In the rear, there is a decent legroom. Also, you can find an armrest with double cup holders. This is the ski hatch I was talking about. There are nets on the sides and the rear sides of the front seats for smaller items, as well as 2 USB-C charging points. So all in all, it's a quite decent space for the price point. The atmosphere in the front is similar to the rear, but with a choice of better materials. Of course, there is a padded door panel here with a decoration insert. Also, there is a padded knee rest, which is really comfortable. And you can see the lettering, the A, which stands for active, for the car's active trim. Also a bunch of cool storage features here. First of all, the sliding cover for the cup holder, which can be adjusted to any place you like with these sliders. There is a big armrest that can be adjusted front and back. It can be opened up, revealing a small tray, and below that a bigger area for bigger items. There is also a small tray for remote controls and stuff like that. And in front of the shifter, you can find a wireless charging pad, 2 USB, one USB-C and one USB-A connector, as well as a 12-volt outlet. And now let's have a look at the driver's area. Let's start the car up. The start button is here. You just push on the brake and click the button, and it starts right up. And also, as part of the active package, the car gets some extra features. If you click at the drive mode selector, you can see that there are 5 driving modes. There's the normal with the blue background, the eco, which gives you a green animation and also like a turquoise background color, the sport, which is of course black, red and white as in all cars, and it resembles, I don't know, a racetrack or something like that. There's the slippery mode with a rainy animation and this bluish, grayish background color, as well as the trail. And I think the trail is the driving mode only available for the active version of the car. And it gives you some contour lines as it would be on like a touristic map or something like that. And it also automatically disengages the traction control. Since the car has been facelifted, a lot of buttons disappeared from the center console and below the screen, but we still have physical buttons for the park assist, the auto stop start, the windshield defrost and the drive modes I was talking about earlier, as well as the physical volume knob, and it can also mute the volume if you click. The lower part of the screen is only responsible for the climate control and the seat heating and the steering wheel heating. It's always staying in like this. The upper portion of the screen is used to control basically everything else. If you click on the home button, let's say, you got a split screen between the navigation, the audio, which is now turned off for copyright reasons, as well as phone functions. And on the right, you can find the settings, features, and apps. Features would mean something like driver assistance or drive modes, and you can customize a lot of settings here. Let's say there is the cruise control. You have 3 settings for the cruise control. There is the normal, which is a traditional old school cruise control. There's the adaptive, which takes the distance into account, and also there is the intelligent that would take the speed limits into account. But there are a lot of other features that you can choose from. The car also comes equipped with wireless Android Auto or CarPlay integration. You just click it here and then you can have the navigation, audio, or you can have the split screen for navigation, Spotify, and the third, like the phone features. But you can also connect with the USB cable if you want. And as I have shown, there is the wireless charging pad over there. And this is a Galaxy S23 Ultra, so it's a quite big phone, and I also have a case on it, and it still fits and it's still charging. It's not a cooled charger, so it heats up, but it's not that significant, so it's basically working pretty nicely. I also wanted to show that the lack of physical buttons in the center console is not a big problem. You have the buttons for the volume on the left side, and you can also skip the tracks and take a phone call from here. On the left side of the steering wheel, there are the buttons for the cruise control. You can set the distance that you want to keep. Also, you can set the lane keeping here. And on the right side, there are the buttons for the instrument cluster itself, so you can customize it from these buttons as well. Now we can have a look at the light panel, which is really true to the car's philosophy. It's nothing fancy, but it's working just fine. There are 2 lights, both in the front and in the rear. It's giving perfect illumination, and if you want, you can turn them on one by one to use them as reading lights. In the sun visors, there is also a mirror and 2 lights on each side. And there is the auto-dimming mirror. That's not the fancy frameless type, but it's working just fine. Also, we can open up the hood, and as you can see, you cannot open it now. It's a built-in safety feature, that's really nice. You have to open the door so that you can open up the hood. Under hood there is the 1-liter, 3-cylinder, 125 horsepower Ecoboost engine. This is already the newer version with the timing chain instead of the wet belt that caused a lot of problems to the customers. And it's also the hybrid, the mild hybrid system with 48 watts. You can see the 48 watt batch here. With an integrated starter generator that gives you extra boost at lower RPMs. That means that the maximum torque is 200 Newton meters instead of 170 with the normal 125 horsepower version. Also, there is no decorative cover in the engine, but there is some sound insulation on the valve covers as well as on the inside of the hood. This concludes our video of this nice Ford Focus. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed and see you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.